How deep the Father's love for us, how vast beyond all measure, that He should give His only Son to make a wretch His treasure. How great the pain of searing loss, the Father turns His face away, as wounds which mar the chosen one bring many sons to glory. Behold the man upon the cross, my sin upon His shoulders. Ashamed I hear my mocking voice call out among the scoffer. It was my sin that held Him there until it was accomplished. His dying breath has brought me life. I know that it is finished. I will not boast in anything, no gifts, no power, no wisdom, but I will boast in Jesus Christ, His death and resurrection. Why should I gain from His reward? I cannot give an answer. But this I know with all my heart, His wounds have paid my ransom. But this I know with all my heart, His wounds have paid my ransom. But this I know with all my heart, His wounds have paid my ransom.
Hey, that's one of my favorite songs that I know of. Very simple. And I like the chord progression. It's also in an abnormal or uncommon time signature. So the way that the beats are set up, normal is either 3/4 or 4/4. So the 3/4 is the 1 2 3 1 2 3, and then 4/4 is 1 2 3 4 1 2. You can hear it in a lot of popular songs, but that one is 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4. You know, it's just different. But anyway, so love, the love of God. How deep the Father's love for us. That's the title of the song. And the balance again. Okay, so there's a balance between the spiritual reality, the spiritual aspects of things where we're praying and seeking God and asking Him to provide and everything. And there's also, like, we have to do something. We actually have to move. We actually have to obey. When He speaks, we actually, act upon it. And both need to be there so that we don't not do anything for the Lord, and then also not do a lot of stuff and then forget the Lord in it, Or like Paul said, learning to be content in all statures, I guess. But he's thankful that God didn't. He kept sustaining him so that he couldn't curse God, but then He didn't give him so much that he would, like Nebuchadnezzar, look at this kingdom that I've built, So there's a balance, and the love of God and the grace of God can keep things in perspective. The fact that he did love us enough, he did have grace enough to, even while we were yet still sinners, to die for us. But he very much did not need to do that. It was nothing that we earned. So it's like, oh, that's nice. But it's also nothing that we deserved. Which makes the first thing all the more nice, because there's nothing that we could do to deserve it, but he did it anyway. So obviously he must love us. Or he has like ulterior motives, or just wants to manipulate us, or it's just fun to watch us, which you see no evidence of that anywhere. And again, there's no reason for him to do a lot of the things that he does if that's just the case. We're just like the peanut gallery or some, I don't know, we're just a show. He actually wants to have a relationship with us. He actually wants us to experience life as he designed it, with us having a relationship with him and us being involved in the lives of the other of his children. And if you don't want that, then like if somebody doesn't want to spend time with God and his family now, he's not going to force them to spend eternity with him and those who love him, meaning heaven. If you don't want to be with him now, then you're not going to be with him later. If you want to be with the body now, you're going to be with them forever. And it's all because of, all in light of God's love, him dying on the cross. There's a lot of poetry in the song, being vast beyond all measure, making a wretch his treasure, not necessarily poetry, because they're like biblical principles, that we were wretches saved by grace, and that Jesus became sin for us, that we might become the righteousness of God. So like along the lines of the filthy rags being whitewashed and all these things, we're treasures to God. We're his I can't remember what the term is, but like we're his favorite thing in creation, basically. And we're made in his image, of course. So I suppose it only makes sense. And all of that goes back to the stuff that we do, what we do for the Lord, that we're in fellowship with other believers, using our spiritual gifts to edify the body, and that we're not treating anybody any way that they shouldn't be treated, whether in complacency or in harshness. I ought to always be introspective and asking the Lord, search me and know my heart, try me and know all my anxieties, and see if there's any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting, like we talked about before. See if there's any erosion in my life away from sound doctrine, away from my first love, away from all these things. And the grace of God, the love of God, is just in your face the whole time. You see God work through things that you didn't expect him to work through. You see God, even just the fact that he continues to work through us, that we fail so easily and so often, but he still lets us keep our job, But yeah, I'm just kind of rambling. I have a lot to work on this weekend, and I'm trying new stuff out. I might have to record this again, but if you're watching this, that means I didn't have to, and that everything worked out, so that would be nice. But anyway, I think that's about it. I gotta go take care of some other things. Good song, good God. But yeah, that's about it. See you guys next time.